Welcome to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at this Duxot Henri Diver and asking the question, is this just another luxury watch homage or is there something more to it? Let's find out. Okay, so before we do a walk around the watch, let's just do a very quick canter around the dimensions and specifications. So this is a 41mm dial width, has 50mm lug to lug. The lug width itself is a fairly standard 20mm, although it is a fairly chunky monkey at 14.7mm deep. Has a nice sapphire crystal, 200 metres of water resistance, houses the Seiko NH35A workhorse movement and weighs in at 200 grams.
So you know the form by now. We're going to just do a very quick run around the watch. We'll do a loom shot, outdoor shot, and then we're going to talk about the things that I like and dislike. First up, I have to say a big thank you to the brand for reaching out and offering me a loan of the watch so that I was able to review it. I don't get paid anything for this. However, I did get free use of the watch for a couple of weeks. So thank you to Duxot for that. What we're looking at today is the Duxot Henri Automatic Diver. This is the deep brown version, and we'll come on to that in a minute. These are currently priced at around £134. It comes in a variety of colours and unusual colours, and we'll come back to that as a topic a little bit later, I suspect. It's a 41mm dive watch, sapphire crystal, 150 metres of water resistance. It's powered by the NH35 movement, so good, solid and reliable. It has 120 click unidirectional bezel, ceramic bezel as well. A bit of a fingerprint magnet, but not bad at all. Let's address the elephant in the room, I guess. This is very, very clearly an homage watch. I'm not going to say what it's to. You all know what it's an homage to, so I don't need to tell you. It's done very much in the homage style, so the bracelet is very similar. We have a decent clasp on it. So the bracelet itself sort of looks like a 5-link bracelet, but isn't actually. It's just single links. But it fitted me. The bracelet that it came on fitted me. And had one link to spare, so you'll probably find these will fit comfortably up to 8.5 inches. The clasp itself is a fairly standard but decent quality ladder clasp, and I like the finishing. And we have a mix of brushed and polished, both on the bracelet but on the clasp as well. We have a mix of high polish, so the retainer is done in a really nice high polish with the Duxot brand on it. Crown is a screw down crown. Again, they've got the emblem on it. The back of the case is actually rather nicely done. You can't see it, let's say Duxot on the back, and a little bit of a spec sheet. I like the sort of clamshell edges all around here. This sort of finishing I think is really good. But it's a screw down case back, a screw down crown. But if we're honest, this one is all about the dial and the colour. I think it's all about the colour for me. You've got that wave texture on the dial, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I think the brown colour is really good. We have Duxot above the pinion, and 200 metres water resistance, professional in blue. And there are some interesting little specks of colour in here that I think work really well. So we have the hands that you would expect to see on here. Again, we'll come to loom as well in a minute. All the indices are applied. The hands themselves are actually in a rose gold colour, which I think works really well with the deep brown colouring in there. Just really, really nice combination. And they've even gone so far as to actually enclose the date window with the same rose gold finish, which I think is a really nice attention to detail. That's all for the walk around. Let's get into the likes and dislikes for this watch. So we'll start as usual with my dislikes of this one. My principal dislike is actually all to do with the bracelet. I think the fit at the male end links that point out just doesn't look great. I'm sure you can see that, but when you're wearing it, there's quite a big gap between the two first links, and even when you're wearing it and it's fully extended out, it's still sort of there a bit. So I don't like the way it fits in. I think they would probably need to rethink that at some point in the future. And the other thing is just a little bit disappointed with the quality of the bracelet. I think at this sort of price point, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that there would be a proper 5-link bracelet, a 5-link bracelet on this, rather than this, which is a faux one. And I've got one of the links here because there was one left over just to show you, and it is just a single piece of metal. And I think at a time when I can buy, get the watch right around, at a time when I can buy a Pagani design watch on AliExpress for 50 quid that has a genuine 5-link bracelet, it does feel a little bit, I know it's a budget watch, but it does feel a little bit unnecessary. But apart from that and the odd finish, there's not a great deal more that I have a problem with. And I suppose in answer to the problem is that I suspect if I was buying one of these, and I may well do because I've really enjoyed wearing it, but if I was buying it, I would almost certainly take it straight off the bracelet. And I would imagine put it on quite a nice, decent dark brown leather strap, maybe even a blue one. Who knows? Okay, so let's talk about the things that I like about this watch. And I'll start off with the finishing, because actually I think the finishing is really good. There's some nice attention to detail, really nice attention to detail. So I do particularly like the sort of scalloping effect on the side of the bezel. I know that's what the Homage watch looks like, but I think it's really, really good. And to be honest with you, it's kind of necessary, because if it didn't have that scalloping to get a grip of, I think you might struggle to move the bezel around. But the finishing does sort of go all the way through, so the shoulders of the watch are really nice polish with a really decent, very clearly defined chamfered edge, through to the brushing and the scalloped finishing on the back of the case as well. I know it adds a little bit of height, and I know that because I've had the back off of this one, and so there's an argument that it adds a little bit of unnecessary height, and at sort of 14.5 millimeters it is quite a chunky monkey, but I just think it looks really, really good. I'm prepared to accept it's a little bit wider than it probably needs to be. And again, you can see just that transfer between the brushing to like the high polish, down to that sort of scalloped edge, down to the really nice brush finish on the back of the case. The finishing has just been done really, really well. The second thing I like, and this is completely childish, but I love every now and then you get a bang of the anti-reflective blue. Look at that. I don't know why I like that so much. I just really do. And the watch does have a really nice bit of distortion at the edges. Again, I really like that. I know it means you can't read the watch at certain angles, but I can easily move my wrist so that I can if I need to. I really like that. But the final thing that I think the most important thing that I like about this watch is the colours, the palette they've used to do this. This is a beautiful, and I'm pretty sure this is not coming across in the pictures. I'm trying really hard to catch it. It is a beautiful rich brown colour. The bezel absolutely goes with it perfectly. The rose gold hands and the window around the and the date window out of that sort of rose gold colour as well. That little pop of blue The colour choice in this is absolutely perfect. And I look at this and I just think the colours have got such a lustre. It really is something to behold. I have got kind of smitten with it, I have to say. I've worn it all week. I've reached for it all the time. I think partly because it feels good to wear, but it's a pleasure on the eye. Colours are just wonderful. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely glorious. And so I think I can give them credit for the colour choices. That clearly was their choice. And works particularly well on here. Absolutely thrilling. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. Okay, so let's wrap this one up, shall we? So I started off with the question, is this any more than a basic Homage watch? And I think where I've kind of landed is that actually I think because of the palette that it's used, because of the way they've done it, other than the bracelet, which I'm not a fan of, but the palette on this is just gorgeous. I've really enjoyed this one. So I think for me the answer to that question is yes. I think this is slightly more than just a standard Homage. I think they've kind of taken it and run with it. And I think the other colours in the range look really good as well. And in terms of value for money, I think for £134 NH35A movement, sapphire crystal, really decent finishing on it. I think I have to conclude that I think not only do I like it, I think it's good value for money. There are some discounts coming up. I will put the details in the description for anybody who's interested. But I think this is a bit of a surprise. I was expecting just another Homage, and I think this is something a little bit different. So that's it from me. It's Saturday afternoon yet again. Weather outside is miserable. I can't cut the grass. You're going to see how miserable it is when I go out in the garden in a minute. But that's it for me. Lots more to come. We've got a Casio edifice coming fairly soon, along with probably another 5 or 6 recent purchases from AliExpress. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking through to the end. If you enjoyed this one, I suspect you'll enjoy the 2 that I have put links to in the end screen. Other than that, it's bank holiday on Monday in this country, so I've got a nice long weekend. Looking forward to that. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are, enjoying your watches. Take care, and I hope to see you back very, very soon. Bye-bye.